Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Deshola. Okay, so today's tutorial is going to be on how I take my body measurements. I actually received a request from one of my viewers, somebody who viewed my tutorial on how to draft the basic bodice pattern, and the person was like, please can you just show us how you take your body measurements. And I remember that when I was learning how to sew, because most of the things I know was from personal research and divine inspiration, so to say. I remember that taking my measurements was a difficulty, so I decided to heed to that request and show you guys how to take your body measurements, or how I take my body measurements. So I wrote some things down here. I said if you're doing it for the first time, you should try to do it in front of a mirror, a full length mirror, so you can see what you're doing. Then I also said in what I wrote down here that you should wear fitted clothing. That's why I'm wearing something fitted today, because loose clothing, sometimes makes you not get the true figure, the true value of the part of the body you're trying to measure. So I advise that you wear fitted clothing when you're taking your measurements. For the ladies, I also put down here that you wear the right bra. For every attire I make myself, I try to, visualize the underwear I'm going to be wearing in it. So you wear the right bra so you can get the accurate bust point, the accurate bust point. Different bras will give you different bust points, so visualize the bra you're going to be wearing with that dress and try to make sure that's what you wear. Okay, I also said here that if you want your dress to be flowing and you know you're going to be wearing maybe 3-inch heels on that dress, let's say your full length is 60 inches now, so 60 plus 3, that's 63. You could decide to add an extra 3 inches, so you'll be having 66 inches. That is what's going to give you that flow when you wear your heels on that dress. Then I also put down here lastly that you should try to note the numbers while looking straight ahead. For instance, if underneath your bust, let me go on tiptoes now. If underneath your bust, or let's say your waist is 16 while standing, if you do this and you note that point, it's surely going to be higher. Maybe you'll be noting something like 14, meanwhile it ought to be 16. So when you're taking your measurements, try to take those figures while looking straight ahead so you can get the accurate, figure. And like I said in that tutorial, the tutorial of the basic bodice pattern, that measurements are taken in lengths and circumferences. So after all of this being said, let me show you guys what I do to take my measurements. Okay guys, I don't know if you can hear me clearly because I'm quite far away from my camera now. This is one tape rule, this is the second tape rule. So I'm making use of 2 tape rules. And then here is my jotter and my pen to note down the measurements I'm taking. So the first thing I would do is to find my true waist measurement. Here's my true waist. But if you don't know where your true waist is, just lean to the side a little bit, and where the fold is, that's your waist. So I'm going to tie this around there loosely. I'm going to tie this around there loosely so that I can note that point. So now let me start with my shoulder measurement. This is the beginning of my tape roll. I take it to the back of my head and then place it. If you play around, you can feel your shoulder joint here. So you place it like that to the other side. Okay? So that's how I take my shoulder measurement. And for me, my shoulder measurement is 16.5. Just write it down the moment you do that. So from my shoulder now, I think I like this neckline. This is the deepest I would like to go for any of my dresses. I don't think I want my neckline lower than this. So standing straight, the neckline, the neck depth for me is 6.5. And then here is my bust point, 10.5. Remember I said wear the right bra, 10.5. So the neck depth, 6.5. bust point 10.5. So under my bust, this is under my bust, underneath my bust, so that's 14. I'm going to put my right hand, I'm left-handed, so I'm going to put my right hand at that point to hold it down and put down 14. So now I'm measuring down to my waist. My waist here, what I have here is 17 and a half. 17 and a half. When I'm making peplum dresses and all, I really don't like my waist, my peplum line, that's the bodice, to reach here. I like to go like an inch above that place. So my half length, I call that half length, is going to be 16.5. So the front half length is 16.5. Now I'm going to flip over my tape rule to the back, and then measure down to where that other tape rule is, standing straight. Remember to stand straight. So this is 16. So if I take away 1, that's 15. So I have 16.5 in front for my front half length and 15 at the back for my back half length. For my waist, I have 17.5 in front, and for the back, I have 16. So you write it down. So now to my hip. Okay, so at this point now, I'm going to look down. This is the widest part of my body. So I'm placing my hand here. Now looking down, I'm getting 26.5, but remember I said you try to stand direct. So I'm putting my hand there, you understand, and I'm standing straight. So taking note of that point, looking at it, is 28 and a half. So that's why I said don't bend down, because if I put down that 26 and a half and I place that circumference, that's if I place the measurement of my hip on length 26 and a half, that means my hip, instead of it sitting here, the hip of the dress will be up here, and then you have what people usually call pockets. You understand? So it's important you take your measurements while looking straight ahead. So 28 and a half for my hip. My pen fell down, so I'm going to be picking it. 28 and a half for my hip. So 28 and a half for my hip. I want to note my thighs, my knee, and my ankle. My thighs, my knee, and my ankle. Now, there's no way I won't bend down right now. So I'm going to, place one of my fingers here, close to my hip, and release this. So now I will bend down. I'll bend down. So bending down, I like this space is okay for my thigh. Like if I want my flares for my gowns or my skirts to start, I think this space is quite good. So that's 37.5. My knee, I like it to be on or beneath my knee. So I think 43 and a half is okay. So for my thigh, I have 37.5. For my knee, I have 43. Don't let go of this place. So make sure you don't let go of this place, okay? Keep it there. So I'm tracing it down to my ankle. So down to my ankle, I have 60 inches, okay, without heels. Now I like high heels, I really like high heels. So if I want my dress flowing, I could decide to add extra 6 inches to that 60. So, but I'm going to note the true length, which is 60 inches. Now, that's my true length. There are some dresses that I want you to stop exactly at that point because I want my shoes to show. And then if I want a dress that should be flowing, I'm going to add extra inches, to cover up for the flow. So that's it for the length. So also, if you're going to be making a blouse, you should know where your blouse length stops. This is okay for me. So standing straight, this is okay. That's 26. So that's for my blouse length, 26 inches. So now the other lengths you need to take, this one can be quite tricky. This is my shoulder to my bicep line, that's to here, where like my armpit, or tracing it out, that's 4 inches. Where do you like your short sleeve stopping? I think here is okay for my short sleeve, that's 7. So my bicep line 4 inches, my short sleeve 7. So my elbow sleeve 12.5. Okay, 12.5. Now if I want 3/4 sleeve, maybe I want it long, but yeah, I want my jewelries to show, that's 18 inches. For my 3/4 sleeve, 18 inches. And then for my long sleeve, I don't want my jewelries to show, I just want it very long, that's 23 inches. 23 inches. So now we're done with the lengths. The next thing is to begin with the circumferences. So my bust point, I take the tape rule, I take it up and measure the fullest part of the breast. Mine is 44.5. So I'm going to put that down. I'm going to put it down in front of bust point, 44.5. So I move down a bit. So under my bust, 37. So my half length, that's an inch above my waist now, is 35. So the front half length and the back half length are going to be the same. That's the circumference, they're going to be the same. The only reason why, it's different in length is because of the protrusion of the breast. If you're measuring for a man, or for maybe you're measuring for a young girl, they will be the same. But the mature woman has breasts in front, so the protrusion of the breast is increasing the length, and you need to account for that. That's why it's longer in front than at the back. But when it gets to the circumference, it's the same thing. So my front and back waist, the same thing, 35. So now to my hip. Depending on the dress, I might decide to take here, but this place is, let me just leave that. My hip. So this is how I measure my hip. I wiggle the tape rule and give allowance until it can pass through. Okay, and then I look at it. Here I have I have 51.5. So now I'm gonna cross check and make it fitted with about 3 of my fingers inside. Yeah, so that's still 51.5. So that's my hip, 51.5. So remember my blouse length. Okay, I said my blouse length was 26, and 26 was around here. So I think it's wise to measure that area, so that I measure that area. That place also serves as my upper hip. That's 47.2. So now we measure our upper arm. My upper arm is 16 inches. I'm going to leave, here's my short sleeve, 15.5. My elbow sleeve, 13. Okay, I'm measuring the elbow such that if I flex my elbows, it is still, comfortable. It doesn't feel tight. So my upper arm, I said 15.5, and my elbow 13. Let me stop there and put that down. So my 3/4 sleeve, if my sleeve was to end here, 11 is okay. 11 is okay for me. And for my long sleeve, 10. But whatever figure you pick, make sure that you can wiggle out and wiggle in your wrist, your hands rather. So for my 3/4 sleeve, 11, and my wrist, 10. So the last but not the least, although you can determine that by yourself, but I still like to take the measurement. The measurement of my arm side, some call it armhole. So without any allowance, I have 17. But I like it when there's enough room for me to move my hands, because if you're making a fitted dress, you need to be able to take your hands to the back to zip up your dress. So you need enough room in your armhole. So I'm going to put 4 of my fingers inside that place, and doing that and still making it loose, I now have 19. So that's an extra 2 inches for ease. So my armhole or my arm side is 19 inches. So that's it, guys. I hope you found this video helpful, and hopefully when I make other sewing tutorials, you can refer back to this to understand how you need to take your measurements for the tutorial in question. Please remember to like this video, subscribe to my channel, hit the bell, the notification bell, so you can be notified when I post new videos. Thank you, guys. Mwah. Bye.